Hey everybody, just wanted to welcome you to this session with Jen Rivera. Jen?
Yes.
And I want to let you know that it is being recorded. So if the recording will be available for 30 days if you are registered, as long as you register by 6 p.m., spread the word. And if you do not wish to have your face shown, that this would be a good time to turn it off for sure. If you'd like to go ahead and participate and respond with, interact with Jen and so forth, just obviously keep it respectful and make sure it's appropriate for that recording for family viewing. I will be your session support for this session, and you're welcome to ask me any questions in the chat. I think it would be best if we remain muted during the session so that Jen can go ahead and do her thing. And she's going to talk about choreography in a Zoom era. So I'm going to hand it on over to Jen Rivera now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Wendy. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this session. I hope you're enjoying the festival so far. I think the Pete Souza was really fantastic earlier today, and it's really been a really nice festival. So welcome. Yeah, we're going to talk about choreography in a Zoom era. My name is Jennifer. As you can see, I'm a musical choreographer at Santiago K8. And what you just saw was the opening number for 101 Dalmatians Kids, which our school just performed last month. And so that's the example we're going to be basing the talk on today. This is our 5th Disney musical at Santiago. And we were the only school in the district to perform a live musical on Zoom. So I have a lot to say about it. I'm not going to compare it to a stage show because that would be a whole nother session. We got a lot to say about that. So we'll stick to what my thoughts were on putting this show together in Zoom. So let's go back a little bit to like the pre-planning of the show and how I saw it coming together for us. So, you know, choreography, dance is a really beautiful way of advancing the story in a musical through dance. And one of the biggest questions I faced in thinking about how to present our show was how can we stand in this, you know, little space in our room and have this little box here? How can we tell our story effectively through what we have? So for me, it always starts with the process of listening to the music, constantly, repeatedly. Long car trips in the summer, driving around town, long trips to my sister's in Denver, you know, many hours in the car, I listened to it on repeat constantly. And I really let the music tell me what it wants to do. I just let it drive me. before I think about anything else. I really let it tell me the story. So for this particular musical, in respect to genre, it was kind of all over the place. And this is the kind of research I do at the beginning of every project, whether it be stage or Zoom. Boy, we started out with that conga, you know, and the opening number. It kind of went to a TV jingle, to a more Broadway style tune, where I had this, like, you'll see in the finale, I have some other clips for you, where they had to back up and they had this build up music to like this kick line kind of fun thing. And then the whole thing ends with like this Austin Powers bossa nova bow. I mean, it was really kind of all over the place. So I knew that I wanted the kids to use their whole body. I knew I wanted them to move around. They love to do spins, or constantly doing that kind of thing. So the music was really telling me that in the beginning. And then I went to what I knew to be true. We did a fall drama. Our school did a fall drama last spring, right? We went into COVID. The drama department did a show online, first live show online. And so it was a drama, and they were kind of still in the box. And there was some singing. My daughter was in the number, and there was a little bit of a lag in the music. We had some kind of problems with that. There was a summer show that the district did, and there was some movement in that, but I was in an area where the Wi-Fi was really bad, so I could not see the show. So kind of knowing all that about the internet and whatnot, my next thoughts were, what did I want the kids to get out of this experience? So if we were going to have those problems, you know, what was most important in that respect? In my mind, this was going to be a very temporary pandemic situation, and we would be in person again next year, hopefully. And we also had a lot of third graders that auditioned for us that had never worked with us. We had never worked with them. They didn't know anything about Disney musical and our expectations. So that was another thing to think about. So I really wanted them to know what to expect in terms of dance terminology, more or less, so that we didn't have to take a huge step back in our learning going into the next project that we had. I really wanted them to go forward and move on and learn things. So this show, I just knew after all that this was going to be a show about the process over the end product. So, you know, that kept going on in my mind. I really wanted it to be about the kids having fun and learning. So, so I got creative. We had some fun. I was not going to worry about what the audience does not see. I wanted to give these kids the fullest experience of what Disney musical is all about. And we did. We learned footwork. They learned direction changes. They learned what a pivot was. They did some kicks. So they had to learn about weight transfer. I taught the girls how to bevel. We did step touches, all those things. So we worked with spatial awareness, like where are we in the camera? Can we go off? Can we get back on? Can we come forward? We just really got creative with that whole process. I made some props, had them dancing with props, things that we would normally do on the stage. I really wanted it to transfer online, regardless of any internet issues that we were going to have. So those were all important elements for me. So those were my thoughts going into the pre-production of it. And now I'm going to share an example of that footwork and those level changes that I was talking about with Canine Crunchies. It's a TV commercial the Dalmatians love about their favorite puppy food, complete with internet lag. But you'll see spots where you can tell that their feet are moving, but you can't see it, and how it doesn't really take away from the performance because they're as cute as can be. So here is Canine Crunchies.
Canine Crunchies can't be beat. They make you a special treat. Happy dogs are those who
Whoa. Yay! Am I right? How cute are those kiddos? I mean, I had them, you know, coming up close and then backing up so they could do their kicks. You know, they wouldn't, you know, keep their computer, but and I love the small Chihuahua and the Great Dane. You know, only they're so big, you can only see their chest. I love those little things that we put in there. So that's a good example of what I was trying to convey in that, and just really get them to move and have fun. And yeah, those are the things I played around with. And then we get into rehearsals. So I think the most important thing in our rehearsal process is the consistency that we had. We started each rehearsal with our Disney musical rules. We do our warm-ups, and we were very consistent about it. And then we talked about spatial awareness. So I noticed that the best place for them to be was not too far away, so that we didn't really need to see their feet. You know, they get too far and you can't see their facial features, but you didn't want to get them too close up because now I can't see the dancing. So we started to say at each rehearsal to stand up and do the warm-ups, and stand up head to belly button. And that was a really consistent thing throughout. That seemed to be the sweet spot, right? So we could see their arms and their torso moving. We could still see their facial features, and we didn't see the feet, and it really didn't take away from anything. So that was really, and we made that consistent every single rehearsal. We did our Disney rules, we did our warm up, we said head to belly button, and then we went from there. So that was important in rehearsals. I also made videos, and that was really helpful in this entire process, because time was really, it was really tight. So sometimes all the parts of the numbers I would make, and I edited them, and I would put lettering in there that said only for Cruella or only for Jasper, and they would go in there. And so if they saw that, they weren't supposed to do that part, you know. And I really made specific videos for specific parts, and everyone could go back and review. Okay, so there wasn't a lot of time for cleaning up numbers or going over things with kids like we do on the stage. We have a lot more time, and we're together more often. So that was really important in the process. Consistency, making the videos. What was I gonna say? Sometimes the kids went into breakout rooms, and I had to teach, you know, small groups, and they would come in and out of the breakout rooms. I still only had that 45 minutes to teach a number, whether the number was 30 seconds or 2 minutes. I only had 45 minutes. So I really had to like use my time wisely in there. Usually on stage, we get like 2 hours over 2 days, and then there's always time in between that we're rehearsing before and after. We can ask questions and things like that. But whenever a kid had something to say or had questions, I was, go back to the video, go back to the video, go back to the video, watch the video. And then you could see when they came back, if we said that on Tuesday, you could see on Thursday that they would come back and they were watching the video, and they had really, we're practicing. You could tell which ones were really listening to me when I said go back to the video and watch the video. So that was great. One of the challenges in that, again with time, but I also had to teach it in reverse. So I had to teach them going to the left and then constantly say to them, go to the right. I had to record the videos going to the left so that they could see it going to the right. So that, that was probably the hardest thing of the entire experience with teaching dance is on a computer, is that the mirror is not, it mirrors you. It doesn't mirror it for them. So that was hard. And remembering just to say go to the right or go to the right. When they say go to the right, I got to go to the left. Bit of a nightmare, really, but we got through it. So for this next clip that I have for you, I'm going to show you how I taught each part separately in this next number. It's called The Chase. And everyone was in a breakout room doing a run through, and I would get like one child or 3 or 5, and I would teach them in groups, but we never ran it all together until run throughs. They never got to practice it all together. I just told them, if you just do your part, it will all come together. And it did. So here it is. This is The Chase. This is when the Dalmatians have escaped Cruella's fur vault with the help of Sergeant Tibbs. And her evil henchmen are trying to catch them. Here we go.
You're right, Jasper. They flew the coop. All of them.
Well, don't just stand there, you idiots! After them! Get 'em! Run!
You'll never get away.
Faster, you idiot! Faster! Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yes, you do. Why, you little.
Gotcha!
Yeah, so now that you've seen some of the performances from the show, you can see that everything happened that was supposed to happen. We had some glitchy internet at times. We had some Zoom lag. It caused some audio delays and things we just really couldn't control. But we also had kids giving stellar performances, and they were dancing and they were singing, and like they had no idea any of this was going on, right? We had some kids going in the opposite directions in the performance, you know, that they had never done before, but they were in like a duet or a trio. So if I had taught it like this, they were going like this. It worked. It just worked in the end, and we were all good. So process over product was really how it all came together, and it really just was a wonderful experience. So I highly recommend it. If there's a school out there that has that Disney grant, you just go for it. All right, so I guess we can do some question answer.
Actually, there is a question in the chat from Rick. He was asking, he says, sometimes dancing is really hard for some students. So how do you help them remember their dance moves?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Sometimes they make up silly names, or I go, wah, wah, you know, just to help them. And I don't count, and I say, here we go, step to the side, wah, wah. And I make up silly things like that. And I hope that gets them to remember what they're doing. Anybody else? Good question, Rick. Thank you. Good to see so many people.
Here we go. What is the hardest thing to teach students when it comes to dancing?
I find what's hardest to teach are things that I think are easy. I choreograph things and I put them out there and it trips them up, and I just think this is a lesson more for me than for you. I don't know how to convey it, get it across. I think it's easy, but it's not. But it's usually there's some kind of weight transfer. They have to like put all their weight onto one foot and do something. That's really hard for kids at this age. It's really tricky, and turning different ways is really hard for them to understand. A pivot seems so easy. I take my foot forward and I just turn around, but sometimes they just go the opposite way, and it's
Probably have to think too much about it or something.
Yeah, really, I know. Yeah.
A couple more questions in the chat. Is the Disney Music in Schools program typically held during the day, or is it an after-school program?
An after-school program, yes. We usually rehearse right after school gets out.
After school. And Nancy's giving encouragement. She says, great job. And Lily's asking if it's different to choreograph in person or on Zoom, or are you're modeling kind of the same way? I'm guessing.
Yeah, for the most part. I really had to I had to teach on my iPad because I could turn it sideways so they could see my feet, and I could teach full body. And then I would teach it to them and learn it that way. And then I would turn it back over and we'd rehearse, you know, head to belly button, so that they knew what my feet are doing. I wanted them to do the feet, even though we weren't, you know, and actually in one of the numbers, I wanted one of the Cruella de Vil, if I were doing it on stage, I wanted her to tap. I wanted her to do this tap session. So I taught her, she didn't tap, but I taught her the tap anyway. You know, because she might need it going into the next show. She might need to know that. So I thought that was great. It was very different teaching. I mean, in that respect.
It is. This whole year has been a little different, just a little different.
And the lag is hard. They, you know, they don't have the same internet. They're not seeing me at the same pace. This is why the video was so key, because if they had bad internet and they couldn't see what I was teaching, I had no time to go back and help them. So they had to go back and watch the video.
Gotcha. And encouragement from Moises de la Mora, probably know him.
Yeah.
You've done an amazing job with kids in person and online. Oops, it went away. The product you just showed us showed how dedicated both the cast and the staff were during the whole process. So that's a shout out to you. Nice work. And then another question, what is the best thing about your job?
Oh gosh, I get to dance every day. Are you kidding me? This is like a dream. I love it. I get to create. I mean, that's what I am. I'm an artist. I get to create. I mean, obviously I love the stage so much better because we can make traffic. I mean, I spend most of my time creating traffic patterns. It's not the choreography. I can sit in my car and listen to music and the choreography just comes to me. I don't have to work so hard at it. It's the traffic pattern part. So for this Zoom, it was, you know, a little bit more challenging in a different area, but I get to create. It's fantastic. And I get to work with the best people. I have the best Disney musical crew. I do. Miss Siebert and Mr. Santana and Miss Curiel.
Awesome. I know that Santiago team is really, really strong. That's really great.
Best team ever.
Nancy might want to do possibly a master class or something like that. Well, we can talk about that on the side, I think, Nancy.
Yeah, fantastic. I would love it.
I love it when the local community can come together with the schools. That's one thing that's great about Boca, is to be able to make those connections. So that's really cool. So another encouragement, great job with performing on a Zoom. And you're an amazing teacher. Always nice to hear that, right?
Right?
Does anybody have any more questions for Jen?
I have one more quick little finale number if you want to watch.
Beautiful.
Can you take us out on that? All right. I hope you guys come to our next show next year. We've already announced it's gonna be Frozen, and we'd love to all see you there. It's gonna be great. And so I'm gonna close it out with this finale number from 101 Dalmatians Kids, and it has that build-up kick line I was talking about. So enjoy. Thanks for coming.